Hey guys, Road Warrior back here. I recently did another really good run in the Big Brother competition here with mainly a lure. I lost a little bit of the footage. I only caught actually one of them on a float, but I was going to walk you through this. Number one, I am proud of myself again for scoring really well in this with mainly just the lure. I did test out the Club Series 6.0 deep runner as well in this. I caught a couple sharks with it, but I think it was a little disappointing. I wish that was an 8.0. It didn't seem to cast as far as well, but I might do a video on it eventually. But I will do some more thorough testing on it. But I was kind of excited when they released the Club Series 6.0 deep runner. But nonetheless, I think it's a little lighter. Did notice some hook setting issues, or as far as some of the sharks missing it, maybe they're spitting the hook because it's smaller. On a side note, I'm just going to go through this run again. Some of you guys have probably watched me, anybody that's familiar with my channel. This is the way I used to farm back in the day with this, and I love this competition now, especially since the telescopic rod's been taken out where they're not just glitching the fish out of the water. With that being said, it's definitely opened it up for other players to do well. This is the second time I've podiumed in this with the basically just a lure alone. Nonetheless, going through each spot here, I lost a little bit of footage, like I said. Early on, I've noticed one big trick on sharks in general, whether you're wanting to use a shad, a crankbait, that sort of thing. You're going to want to figure out what water depth they are. Now, since this competition is so long, you notice here in all these clips coming up, I'm fishing near the bottom, and sometimes it can get confusing because they could be the mid part of the water column, again, the lower part. Just so happened later on in the peak, it took me a little while to catch on, but early on in the peak, I was catching them near, mid-water to the top of the water. Things can change in a lot of these comps. Also pay attention to that in other comps, for example. You might notice, even playing the best 5 challenge, that the smallmouth are mid-water or towards the top, and then next thing you know, you're playing it and they might be near the bottom. So just kind of food for thought moving forward. That's something that you might consider. Any lure competitions that you're playing in, definitely figure out, even in some of the tournaments, kind of figure out early on where they're at, and then from there, if you quit getting bites, sometimes it could very well be you're just fishing underneath the fish or over their head, so to speak. So again, with that being said, make sure that you are checking the water depths, that sort of thing. No matter if you're using a crankbait, spinner, it doesn't matter the lure. Just make sure that you are in the strike zone. I did hook into this fish here as it's going to the dark. This is an hour and a half long comp, so things can change, especially even in a comp that's just an hour, but let alone an hour and a half. So various things could change, as well as knowing how many shark or fish that you're trying to catch per marker. It's usually a good idea to if you feel like, go with your gut instincts in that moment. I live streamed this today, and sometimes I just even made a cast or two at a spot and just left it, just going off a gut instinct. Or other times, now this fish here in particular, I thought it was one of those, almost like if you're fishing for Nile perch, and anybody that's caught shark here before can probably know, oh no, it's that dreaded 116 to 130 pounder. So as this thing's taking me for a ride, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, even on live stream, this is probably one of those small sharks. But again, I don't want to play the role of spoilers. Many times I do that in my videos, but nonetheless, it is not a 116 pound shark. And I was definitely happy with the results here on this. But again, going back to what I was talking about, I would definitely make sure that, just go with your gut instincts. If you're familiar with your rotation, that sort of thing, whether you're going for shark or anything else, make sure that you kind of pay attention to what you've caught. That will be kind of a skill part. And I know there's a lot of luck involved in these comps. Anybody that's followed along my channel, there is a lot of luck involved. Sometimes you just will get nothing but bad luck. But there's other times, I think, knowing your rotations, knowing where you're at. So with that being said, make sure that you're orientating yourself to be, in a position to be successful. Know your counts, know your rotations. Keep track of, even if you don't want to keep a notebook, that sort of thing, as you're fishing along something like this. Make sure you keep an eye on, because I knew in this particular situation, I knew I was going to have a common. My point being with this long discussion here is I just caught the trophy. If you look at the timestamp there, I already knew that I had probably a common available, if not a decent sized young right behind this. So I went ahead and cast it right back at the same spot. Now early on in the peak, if it seems slow, that's where you guys got to make the adjustments. Whether even if you're fishing with a float, do you want to go You guys have seen me put a clip together where I won Don't Bully Me Shark with a float alone, because that's what the requirements are on that one. But nonetheless, in that one, I was kind of paid attention to the situation. My bite was okay if I stuck to one shark per marker. Now, in this particular situation, I felt I should be able to get one, or most of the time two per marker. And if you know your spots well, you'll have your spots that you like, and then those spots everybody kind of has in their rotation where it's just kind of suspect, and that's what's going to come with experience. Again, I just caught it one shark at that spot. I know I was running short on time. With that being said, this spot here, I didn't catch one earlier. I had one miss, so I rotated back knowing that I should at least be able to get two over here towards the end, and I kind of had that planned out in my head as I skipped past a couple of spots that notoriously had left me high and dry before, whether I was farming or even playing in competitions. So sure enough, I get another nice common shark here in this particular situation as I'm climbing up the leaderboard. Nice common 186 pounder. Immediately cast right back, thinking for sure I will be able to get at least another young behind it. And at this point, no matter what size this shark is, I need the pounds to kind of keep me up there. I'm trying to get a podium the best I can. I realize that I'm having a good run, so I did cast right back, as you can see. And again, just kind of reviewing this, you'll notice whether you're wanting to use a shad, even if you're wanting to use a shad on a jig head with a titanium leader 8.0, or you're wanting to be risky and you wanted to run, let's say a shad on an offset hook, you can do that at your own risk and probably get a bite. But your lure choice is up to you. But if in the event that you get bored in this Big Brother and you don't want to turn it into Don't Bully Me Shark with a float, not saying that you can win with a float, because you can. Sure enough that you can. But if you're bored and you're wanting to learn something new, I put this up several times on my channel, and I've had some positive feedback. There's people that's gotten this down, fairly well, and then there's some that have not yet, and that's to each their own. But I like to just put this up here to help you out the best I can. But again, notice where I have almost all this towards the later part of this comp, all the shark were near the bottom. Now that could change on the next peak, that sort of thing, but you kind of just got to get familiarized with where they're at. Again, another common shark. And as I'm closing in here, this is just kind of a bonus spot. I was hoping to get one more. I probably would not have been able to get him in anyway. Nonetheless, we do get in a nice fish, just kind of to close this out here. But I did leave in first place. Again, I was definitely proud of myself, especially for doing this live stream. It was definitely entertaining for everybody that was watching. I appreciate you guys coming by and supporting the channel and stopping by the live stream. Sometimes I do good, sometimes I do bad. That's fishing, guys. But this time in particular, we did really well. I did catch 22 sharks minus that tri-air there. So we did get 22 shark here, 21 off of a lure, only one on a float rod or bait. I did pick up a duo swim bait, so that was amazing. And good game. Sam did end up passing me there. I'm pretty sure he used the float only. Nonetheless, great run, Sam, and we'll get you in the next one, let's hope. So take care, and we'll see you next time, guys.